Hey everybody, Roman versus with the Squashfest podcast and my co-host.
Unlike The Miz, I have zero grievances. It's the boy Harm.
Poor guy.
Yo, I hope he's making a boatload of money for what they have him doing every single week.
Mm-hmm.
He- he- to, Here's the thing. He's now just comedy guy, the guy who just reminds you how great he is, how we're guy who's gonna essentially maybe not have any more championships for his entire career. But he's always prominently featured on the show every week. It's a great spot to be in if you're the Miz.
You're
So
not wrong. It's very reminiscent of Chelsea Green minus the championships. She did an interview with Chris Van Vliet just a little while back. I think they're just clips at this point. But she was saying, if you told me that I'd be doing less and being this much more successful, she's like, I would have been doing this. She's like, the character work, I do more character work than I do in ring wrestling. And she's
so
like, and look at these. And she literally holds up the belts.
the question I think that you're referencing was Chris Van Vliet's like, do you wish you'd be doing more than just the comedy stuff every single week?
Yeah.
And she said no. She goes, that stuff that you see me do every week, the silly stuff, that bought me a new house. That got me a new contract. That made me, and then she goes, that made me a champion. So no, and she goes, maybe that stuff will lead down the line to other stuff. She's talking about an acting career maybe one day, because they see that I can do the character stuff and I'm not just a stunt woman, is basically what she was saying. She goes on his pod all the time because months ago she was on his pod and she goes, "I want to be the female Miz."
Yes.
So bringing her up is great because she said, "I want to be the female Miz." But
mission accomplished.
Yeah. We'll get to her later. So the show kicks off, and we're immediately reminded that this is the start of a 3-hour SmackDown run now on USA Network, which I thought was next week. I thought it was next week. Apparently, it was last night. And WWE did everything on this show, in my opinion. I gotta bring my camera down a little bit. On everything on this show, for me to tell me that SmackDown is going to be the brand for the new generation.
Talent. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the way I took that last night's show. We'll get into it because there was 2 debuts, one for a returning superstar and one for a debuting superstar from NXT, and then I think they teased the third one or third and fourth coming to SmackDown. So the show kicks off, and Michael Cole and is it Wade Barrett? No, is it Corey Graves? Corey Graves on a 2-shot, and they're talking about all the stuff. They're doing the rundown, and the Miz grabs a mic. You just hear him. He starts yelling. He gets into the ring, and he goes, "I have some grievances I have to get into for 2026." He goes. He starts with the John Cena thing, which he's been talking about for weeks. So I should have been the one to tap out John Cena. I should have been the one to beat John Cena. But because of he starts to say Joe Hendry and his married man, but he doesn't say it, so he wouldn't appear. That was taken away from me. He slipped up and said I'm the first ever Grand Slam champion. I think he meant he's the first ever 2-time Grand Slam champion because I believe the first ever Grand Slam champion was Shawn Michaels. But he was I'm a 2-time Intercontinental champion. I'm a 2-time World champion. I'm a multi-time tag champion. Not 2-time Intercontinental champion. Like I'm a multi-time Intercontinental champion. I'm a 2-time United States champion. Blah, blah, blah. He runs down his thing. He goes, I need to be treated with a little more respect around here. And he goes on. He's like, I'm a locker room leader, which is hilarious because this man was kicked out of the locker room as a young talent. Eventually, he gets interrupted by a returning Randy Orton. Oh, 2 returns tonight. And count Randy Orton. I was counting the other one. He is interrupted by a returning Randy Orton. By the way, you never turned your blue lights on.
I know.
Um, um,
Too sick. I'm not doing
okay.
lights today.
Randy Orton gets in the ring and teases Miz a little bit. Looks like he's going to push him. Miz jumps back. Um, Eventually hits him with an RKO. And the crowd's cheering. Crowd chants one more time. He picks Miz up. He yells out, "Happy New Year, Miz!" and hits him with another RKO. And he walks out. And so we got Randy Orton back.
That crowd was mean.
It's Buffalo, man.
I know, man, but they was just like, one more time. It was between that and the table chants all night. I was annoyed.
Buffalo is New York, but it's not New York City. So you have the meanness of New York, but you still have like the upstate hillbilliness of them. So because think about the Buffalo Bills tailgating we've seen over the last few years when they're wrestling and are putting each other through flaming tables before Bills games. Yeah. It's like, what are you guys doing? And and what else is there to do in Buffalo? But if you're gonna stand outside the arena and get drunk before you go into a wrestling show, it was probably -7 degrees there. So later in the show, we get Randy Orton walking backstage. Cody Rhodes walking backstage because he's looking for Drew all night. And this is the first of two people to remind Cody, hey, when you're done with Drew, we may be friends, but I'm coming for that world championship. Which is what I've been asking for a year since he's won that title. Like, why have we not gotten Randy versus Cody? Why have we not gotten if you're not going to turn Randy heel, at least tease a Randy heel turn? Because I always think
Randy's better as a heel.
Randy's better as a heel, but at this point, he's elder statesman babyface, where people are going to cheer him because they respect the longevity.
Yeah.
Right? But he's better as a heel. Like, 2009 Randy Orton is a mess. All right. Then we get our first match of the night, and this was way too long. I definitely checked in and out of this match and felt like I missed nothing. This was Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend versus Rio, which is what they're going with again, apparently now. Rio and Io, and Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I don't know we have 3 hours to fill. I know you have to put some sort of wrestling on. You need to remind us that the tag teams division on the women's side is important to everybody. But this was way too long. I didn't need the spots where everybody hits their finishers. I didn't need... there was just a lot. And it ends up being that Rhea hits a Riptide onto Kairi Sane, and Io hits the moonsault with the Kairi Sane, and they get the win to get the go-home math before Monday's tag team title match of Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors, which I still think Rhea and Io win. I'm going against my whole Stan's Hall math on this one because the babyfaces won. But no, I still think Rhea and Io are walking out with those tag team championships on Monday. And they teased a feud with Alexa and Charlotte again in the backstage where they're like, yeah, thank you for having our backs again tonight, but remember, we're next. And just Charlotte and then Rhea and Io are just like, yeah, we know, but we're winning those titles on Monday. And just like, we're up
But they
next.
also wanted to tease it that it could go either way, because then they also had a backstage with the Kabuki Warriors and
Nia Jax, Lash Legends
right before the match. And I, like you, I know you already have a pick. I feel like it could go either way. I honestly, I can't pick between the two, but I don't necessarily need to see a title change yet.
I agree. Man, if I were putting, because I also think Braun is going to win on Monday. I think he's going to win that world title. We broke that down in the last episode of Raw. We did. I think WWE right now for 2026, we're in a sort of reset mode. Mm-hmm. We got a title change on SmackDown, which needed to happen because we need to make that person a big deal. We'll get into that in a little bit. We're getting new talent finally coming up because the talent, I've been saying for a year, the talent that came up and is coming up has been ready for main roster for a long time. It's just where did you put them? And they did a good job teasing where you're gonna put Trick Williams in this episode. They made him look like a star. Um, so I think the reset of 2026 is coming. I think you're gonna get a new world champion on Raw. You're probably gonna get a new tag champion, new two women's tag champions on Raw. Uh, and it's a good time to do it before Rumble and before Mania season 2, because then you can, like I said, you can start putting these people who have not been in main storylines for seem like for a long time. I know Asuka has been in a main storyline, but it's been Asuka, Rhea, Io, Michael. She hasn't been in a single storyline for a long time, and I think she should be in a single storyline. I forgot exactly what I broke down last week because we're inebriated doing that podcast. I just remember something about Asuka winning the Rumble and going into Mania. Oh, Asuka, and I said Asuka and Stephanie from Mania, which would be my pick. So if we can get to that, that'd be great. So then we get Kit Wilson coming out. And can I say, I love Kit Wilson's entrance music.
I thought the whole new package. I thought it was really dope. It was really good.
This was great. I saw he came out. It's like, it's Kit Wilson, and it just the cheesiness. It felt like it was like a 1980s like pop singer. I can picture it. It might be Madonna, but that hand drawn music video. Like that's what it's reminding me of in the 80s, and it's just so cheesy and so good. And he gets into the ring, and he's never gonna win a match, but he gets into the ring, and he's talking about how the Buffalo fans have the most toxic masculinity of anybody you've ever seen, and he's hilarious. And he gets interrupted by woo woo woo, and the crowd pops super loud. And this is the second time, and I understand he's going to be a SmackDown superstar moving forward, but this is the second time that Matt Cardona has come back to WWE in upstate New York. Last time it was in Albany. This time it's in Buffalo. The man is from Long Island. Can we get him in one of these Madison Square Garden or Brooklyn shows, please? They keep bringing them back in these obscure towns in New York State. So the Tron hits and it says Zack Ryder. And then immediately you hear always ready. And it changes to Matt Cardona and his Matt Cardona theme. And he's announced as Matt Cardona.
He looked great.
He's kept himself in great shape. He's been the indie god for a long time. He's one of those guys, like I know Cody and Drew talked about during their feud, going to the indies and reinventing themselves. So WWE brought them back. But they did it on a shorter scale. It's been 6 years, basically, since he was released in 2020. And he went on the indie scene and he made himself this totally different packaged character than he was in WWE, and everywhere he's been. And a lot of it's been in TNA, short run in AEW, he's been great. He has said for a long time he wanted to go back to WWE. He wants to be world champion one day. So maybe this is the final run of his career, because he does so much other things on the side.
Yeah.
But no, he looked great. We did get announced. Michael Cole the entire time was like, "What are we calling this guy?" Last time we saw him, he was Zack Ryder. Now he wants to be Matt Cardona, and we did hear through Michael Cole's headset apparently that Matt Cardona has officially signed to WWE on SmackDown. So he's going to be a superstar on WWE television moving forward, which is a loss for TNA. TNA, that's the way I was like, that's great for WWE. He's going to be entertaining. He's going to be a mid-carder right away. Whoever comes out of this United States Championship Open Challenge thing that we're doing with Carmelo Hayes, he's going to be in that mid-card right away. But then you have, him and Cody are best friends, so you can go down that storyline too eventually if Cody keeps that title. Like, there's a lot you could do with Cardona. TNA getting a new television deal and losing Matt Cardona, I think, is a loss because, AMC would have definitely liked to keep Matt Cardona. So we'll see what happens there because I think their show kicks off this week on AMC. All right, but Cardona gets the win with the Rough Rider, which is what we're still calling it. I don't even know if he ever even changed the name of that move. But Matt Cardona gets the win in his re-debut against Kid Wilson.
It was a good match.
It was a good match. Mm-hmm. Kid Wilson is a good wrestler. I've said this all the time. I'm a Pretty Deadly fan.
My only question is Pretty Deadly dead?
I don't know. The other one's always hurt.
Yeah. I haven't seen him since I can't tell you. And then
he's always hurt.
And then now this one got a whole new package.
I can't. No, I think you put them back together when he gets back.
Okay.
It could be like a DIY situation where they have their side stories, but they're always back together. And then Johnny Gargano got another version of his entrance music tonight. We'll get into that. He had his a third different theme he's used in this month. So backstage, we had Jordynne Grace talking to Nick Aldis about a move to SmackDown. And she was in 2 backstage segments on this show. She was in the first one with Nick Aldis in his office, and then she was in one later after Jade Cargill interview talking about how Michin got injured on a house show and how she quote unquote did it purposely. And she teased signing the SmackDown and
is that why we
going after? Yes,
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah,
I
it was during
her talking trash, and I was.
It was during the interview. Kathy Kelly said, "Hey, Michin got hurt at a house show match against you this week, or a live event match this week. Did you do it on purpose?" And Jade Cargill's like, "Damn right I did. And if anybody else wants it, they can get it because I'm that bitch." And then Jordynne Grace walks up and she's like, and it's so funny to see Jordynne Grace next to Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I didn't know she was that small.
She's 5'1", bro. She's tiny. She's smaller than Rey Mysterio.
I did not know that.
But when she's in the ring, she's so muscular that you don't think about how short she is because she's so physically dominating over everybody. But Jade is staring down at her. Mm-hmm. And this match, when we get this match, it's going to be 2 giant muscle mommies just beating the crap out of each other. One who's almost 6 feet tall and one who's 5'1". It's going to be hilarious to see. Jordynne's great. Hopefully she can pull a good match out of Jade. But this actually got me excited. So we got a tease of Jordynne Grace signing to SmackDown. All right. Then we get a segment where Sami Zayn comes out. Mm-hmm. And I understand we're still doing the Sami Zayn 2026 I want the World Championship thing. I didn't need the whole soliloquy of him talking to his son about John Cena's 17 championships and him never winning.
Me and my cousin thoroughly enjoyed it because we were just like, yo, this kid is unfiltered and he is just roasting his dad. He's just like, why are you not a champion? Why have you never had that one? We were just like...
No, the question was, so Sami Zayn comes out and Sami's like, he was able to watch John Cena's full last match with his son because he wasn't on the show, which was a great father-son experience. And his son asked him, why is John Cena called and never seen 17? And he goes, well, that's because John Cena's won the championship 17 times. And he said, how many times have you ever won the world championship? He goes, none. And he says, why is that? Because his son is like 5 or 6 and doesn't understand that. I don't know if his son still understands that the wrestling is a scripted show and his father's story arcs and blah, 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 blah. But he said, my son has seen the World Tag Team Championships. My son has seen the United States Championship. My son has seen me with the Intercontinental Championship, but he's never seen me with the World Championship. So he doesn't understand why I've never been World Champion when I've been in the ring with other World Champions. So I'm going to stop talking about it, and moving forward, I'm going to do it. 2026 is about me going after that World Heavyweight Championship. And he's interrupted by Trick Williams,
Mm-hmm.
looking like a 1975 man who, I don't. Can I say pimp on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. He looked like a 1975 pimp, bro. He came out with the thick, dusty roads, uh, fluffy. So it wasn't even a jacket, like robe.
Yeah.
He had the TW chain on, the fresh braids, the sunglasses, and what he called them, these penny loafer steppers.
Yeah.
Like, what is something? No, those are these lemon pepper steppers, is what he said. With the heels and the white pants, like he looked like a star. And he came out and
The
he
heels
could
threw
have
me off.
because it's the gimmick.
They were
thick. They were tall. Like I said, he looked like a 1970s pimp. And he came out, and the crowd gave him a huge pop. They chanted, whoop that trick. And he got into the ring. And he cut a good promo. He said, Sammy, I'm Trick Willie. He gave himself like 7 monikers. Hey, you can call me Trick Willie. You can call me something Trick. He just went off. He goes, but I'm here to be a star and to do something you can never do. And that's win the World Heavyweight Championship. Because Trick Williams is money. And Sami Zayn's like, Trick, I respect you. I've been watching you for a long time down at NXT. I've been paying attention. The one thing you've never been is humbled. And I'm going to humble you. And he walks out. What Trick should have said is, and this is where he should have been really heel. Sammy, I've been in WWE, because he did say it's not going to take me 20 years to win the world championship. What Trick should have said was, I've already been world champion. I'm Trick and A. I was TNA world champion. You've never even had that. It's like you're the heat he would have gotten. I know they're probably not gonna. I know Michael Cole reference it, but they're not gonna reference TNA as a real world championship on their TV because it's like other world championships exist outside of WWE television. Mm-hmm. But for his character, to be a 2-time NXT champion and a TNA World Heavyweight Championship. If I'm Trick Williams, I'm throwing that in everybody's face until I win something on main roster. Because he can immediately come up and be like, I've done more in my career than most of your roster has done in theirs. Mm-hmm. And that's a segue right into, we get Ray Phoenix in the back. And he's talking to, what's he talking to? Because Nick Aldis. Yeah, he was talking to Nick Aldis. Yeah. And Nick was like, yeah, we need more stars. We need you to step up for 2026.
Not happy
about Trick. Because Ray Phoenix is not being Trick Williams. Trick Williams walks up to Nick Aldis. He goes, "You hear what he said to me? You hear what he said?" And then Ray says something to him in Spanish. He goes, "What'd you say?" And Nick just says, "Oh, you're making friends everywhere you go. Maybe Sammy's right. You do need to be humbled." Well, next week we're gonna have Trick Williams in a SmackDown debut versus Ray Phoenix, which is going to be a really good match.
It's going to be a great match, but Ray is getting his ass kicked.
Ray's not getting this win. Absolutely not. What I didn't like was then we can segue into that, even though I don't think it's the next thing coming up. Oh, it is the next thing coming up. You have Carmelo Hayes on the show. Mm-hmm. Carmelo Hayes is the United States champion, and he had a backstage with Ilya Dragunov. Mm-hmm. While they're having their conversation, I would have put Trick right there because of the history Trick Williams has with Carmelo Hayes. And he beat Ilya Dragunov for the world championship.
I get that. It'll come, but the whole point is that he's focused on the world. He's not focused on the U.S.
No, I know, but you can still tease them like Trick, Mello, and then get to that later. Like remind people that that they have such a history because Trick was his bodyguard for a long time, and then beat Ilya for the championship, and that triangle story that they had in NXT was great. So that's what I would have done. And then again, then you're implementing Trick into multiple things.
Yeah,
the way you implemented Jordan Grace into multiple things.
It's always good when they do that.
Yeah. And again, you want to make new stars, you have him show up and just like you just remind me that Mello and Trick don't like each other anymore.
Mm.
All right. Yeah, so we got the backstage segment where Carmelo and Ilya talking, and Ilya's like, "We had a great match last week. I'm upset. Even though the result wasn't what I wanted, I'm happy that I lost it to somebody who pushed me as far as you pushed me. But don't eventually we can run it back, and I want my title back." Then he looks at me and goes, "Are you going to keep the history or the United States Championship Open Challenge
Mm.
open moving forward?" And Carmelo was like, "Yeah, I think I'll keep it going. So it's 2026. We're gonna keep going. Keep doing the United States Open Challenge." But this wasn't an open challenge match. This was just announced Gargano versus Carmelo for
Mm.
the U.S. title because
At the
of
attack last
Gargano
week.
attacking Carmelo last week in the back after he won the title. This is a great match. These guys, oh my god, these guys put on a show. Gargano's been one of the best wrestlers in the company for a long time. Carmelo is a rising superstar.
Mm.
He needs to. Braun has jumped Mello because when
100%.
these guys when they came into WWE together, they were both went to NXT
Not
2.0.
even
They were both
comparable.
featured.
It's
I
not
know
even
Braun has
comparable.
jumped Mello,
Yeah.
but I think Mello is for 2026. We can get there for Carmelo Hayes moving forward, especially if he has a lengthy United States Championship run. 20 make this the year of Mello, and then going into 27 and 28, you can eventually get him to World Championship reign thing. I think that's the ceiling for him. Because eventually we need to get this off of Cody, and we need to get the 40-year-olds out of the main event picture. Um, so, but they did a good shit. They did a good job building the young talent. Before I forget, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to have it. The fourth tease for SmackDown, because we got the return of Matt Cardona, we got the Jordan Grace tease, we got the Trick Williams, we got another Oba Femi package.
Mm-hmm.
And
And it was
why I
all in
say
blue. It was all in blue.
that's why I think it's going to be SmackDown. Unless we get one on Monday Night Raw where it's all in red, we'll see. But the name Oba Femi was all in SmackDown blue, so I think we're going to get all of the young stars moving to SmackDown moving forward. But we get the match. Mello and Gargano's a great match. Mello wins with first 48 and nothing but net to beat Johnny Gargano. And then we get a backstage where Tama is watching the match. Tama Tonga is watching the match. And so he's still focused on the United States Championship. So Shinsuke walks up and they talk in Japanese. And I don't know
Me and Tommy
if
were
for
both
you,
like, what the hell? When we saw that he was talking back in Japanese, we just didn't
well,
expect it. I know he
yeah,
was in New Japan, but I didn't know
for
he knows.
years.
Yeah, I didn't know he
Yeah,
knows Japanese.
yeah. The Gaijins, as they like to call them. I think that's what they're. No, Gaijin is the monsters.
Yeah.
No, that's Ginju. No,
No.
what is
Kaiju.
the kaiju is the monsters. Yeah, the gaijins is what the American wrestlers who go to Japan are called. The gaijins always go there and try to learn Japanese so that way they can speak directly to the crowd and cut promos there. Like Kenny Omega's fluent in Japanese. Like so yeah, Shinsuke comes, he speaks to uh Tama in Japanese. Tama says something back to him in Japanese. There were no subtitles. We'd have no idea what these two men said to each other.
Yeah, we tried to Google it. It did not come out.
What were you typing? You don't know how to spell. You know what?
We typed into Google the conversation and was trying to see if somebody had
Why
typed
did
it
it?
out, like on Twitter or something.
Why didn't you open your phone and Google Translate and put it to the speaker?
Oh, that would have been smart. That would have came out a lot better.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
That was your fault. You weren't available.
No, I wasn't. So after Shinsuke walks away, you see Solo's hand on Tama's shoulder, and he's like, "Is everything okay there?" He goes, "Yeah, that's some old business," because it's referencing Japan. And he goes, "What are we?" Atama goes, "What are we going to do about the MFTs?" And
They are the
next week,
MFT.
oh, I'm sorry. What are we going to do about the Wyatts? I'm sorry.
Who had a vignette?
What a yeah, it's another. What is family? You got kicked out of the bloodline. You're exiled from the bloodline. You talk about my family not being a family, but we're a true family, and you're not. And blah 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 blah.
That's
That's
what I
how
heard.
that's it's the same promo every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we get announced, and next week we're getting an 8-man tag match between the MFTs and the Wyatts. And then Solo is going to be going for the tag team championships again.
Mm-hmm.
I understand you can't do it, but I thought he was going to say next week on SmackDown, we're going to have an 8-man tag match, and the tag titles will be on the line in this 8-man tag match to make it a little more interesting. Because I don't need another 8-man tag between these teams.
I don't.
I feel like the brawls, the tag matches. Like, can we get over this already? Like, so I did like that they featured Tama a little bit more seriously
Yes.
in this episode because he seemed like a true number 2 lieutenant next to Solo, and he wasn't just a guy.
I always like
All
that
right,
guy.
so I think Thomas Hung is great. I used to call him unhinged New Japan Roman Reigns
I can't with you.
because he used to come out with his hair off and the mask, and then he also had when Roman was wearing the bulletproof vest gimmick, and Tama would be wearing his gear, and he just looked like New Japan Roman Reigns. We talked about the Femi thing. All right. Drew's not winning this match next week.
No.
Like,
no, not at all.
So before that, we got Cody walking backstage, interrupted by Sami Zayn. And Sami reminds Cody, Cody goes, I heard everything you said out there. And I know you want the world championship, but I have to deal with Drew. And Sami's like, Cody, I've always liked you. You can even call us friends. But I need to be coming for that world championship, and you can understand that more than anybody. And then Nick Aldis walks up between them, and he goes, and Cody's like, have you seen Drew? He goes, I have not seen Drew. And Cody's like, well, I'm going out to the ring, and we're going to deal with this now. And Nick reminds him for the 17,237th time, you cannot touch Drew McIntyre. Everything, before we even get to what happened, I know Cody went to his house, so that's why we have the stipulation. Mm-hmm. But actually, the stipulation was going to be made even if Cody didn't show up to the house because they had agreed on it at Drew's house. Everything Drew has done to Cody Rhodes, going on the bus, beating him up, kicking him in the head, kicking Dan Engler, yelling at Dan Engler in front of him. Everything Drew has done. Obviously, we know Drew is the super heel at this point because of what he did last night. This should not be a stipulation because if you're breaking into my property, maybe it's the Florida in me now. We have stand your ground laws. If you're breaking into my property, I'm beating you to the closest part to where you see God.
I can't with you. The places you go.
We are officially an open carry state where you do not need a permit. Okay. So Cody gets in the ring. Cody cuts his Cody promo, his long soliloquy. The same stuff he always says. I'm Cody Rhodes. I'm the world champion. It doesn't matter if you call yourself the Never 17, the GOAT, the Gabe, the Scottish Supernova. No, that's not him. That's the other one. Scottish Psychopath is this one. That's Noam Dar, the Scottish Supernova. The Scottish Psychopath. Oh, you're gonna respect me. You're gonna call me champ. And you hear Drew. He's in the back, and he's standing in front of Cody's bus. And he says next week we have the 3 stages of hell match, and these are going to be the stipulations. The first one is going to be a straight up singles match. The second one is going to be a falls count anywhere match, so I can beat you down anywhere in Berlin. And we can go out to if we can go out to the street, I can pin you there, blah blah blah. The third one is going to be something straight out of your father's playbook, an old school steel cage match. Because in the old school, this is what he says. In the old school, you needed to prove you were the best. You needed to beat somebody not once but twice. And to remind you of how nuts I am, I came and I walked to your bus again. And I saw the trinkets that Brandy left you, and I thought he was gonna. And I saw the things that your kids have given you. But I saw one thing that was your prized possession, and he holds up a framed picture of young Cody Rhodes and Dusty Rhodes. Mm-hmm. And this incensed Cody, and then he goes, next week when I'm beating you down, and your father, and this is a great line, and your father's looking up. I was just like, this man is unhinged. Your father is
Tommy, that pop that we made, we were like, what?
He said, and your father is looking up at us, and he watches me beat you down. Which is also because later he gets into the ring and burns the picture, so it's like Dusty's burning in hell.
Yeah.
So, but he's gonna see me beat his baby boy and take the World Heavyweight Championship. So he throws the picture on the ground, smashes it, stomps on it. Cody runs out of the ring, does his power SpongeBob walk that he always does, gets all the way to the back.
We need to talk about the fact that he doesn't know how to run.
Does not know how to run. I like this walk where he has his hands still. Remember the dean we had in high school who was just super jacked and his arms were just always at his side like this? Yes. That's how Cody walks when he's pissed.
Yeah, it's very bad. Just, he needs to train how to walk.
And so Cody gets the back, and he gets stopped by 15 security guards, Nick Aldis, the referees, everybody, reminding him he can't touch Drew McIntyre. This is where the segment did what it needed to do, but this is where it went off the rails for me. Everybody, and this is why I kind of agree with Drew McIntyre. Everybody in the back loves Cody so much and hates Drew so much that they're doing everything to protect Cody Rhodes from getting his title stripped from him, because he should be beating down Drew McIntyre for everything Drew has done. And Drew's playing the mind games perfectly, but everything he said is like
they should be impartial and they should not be getting involved. 100%.
Yes, 100%.
I had the same thought last night.
So, as Cody's making his way to the back, Drew took a side detour around the arena and got into the ring with a trash can. And I'm like, I know where this is going. So Cody gets back into the ring. Gets back to the stage, and he walked really slow because they all had to catch up to him. So he walked really slow. They caught him at the ringside. He made it all the way to the ring. They caught him at ringside, and Drew pulls out a lighter. And Drew lights the photo of Cody and Dusty on fire in the slowest burn ever. I'm assuming they had to do it that way because that's a dome. You can't actually have open flames in these arenas. It's for fire code reasons.
No. The reason is the type of film that shit was on, that it was just hard to burn. That's it.
Well, you kind of want the slow burn too, because you want the image of Cody and Dusty on fire.
Not to the point where it takes him a hot minute just to light it.
Oh yeah, no, that was bad. So he lights it on fire. He throws it into the trash can eventually, and as Cody is still trying to get into the ring, and everybody's holding him back, Drew lays his head on the bottom ropes, asking Cody to hit him. And Cody just keeps yelling, "You want me to hit you? You want me to hit you? Let me go! Let me hit him!" And they're like, "No, stupid! They're trying to protect you. What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, I understand it's your prize position, and it's the idea of your father, he's disrespecting the late great Dusty Rhodes by burning the picture and everything. I'm just thinking to myself, just to go to CVS and print out a new picture. Like, what's wrong with you? It's like
100% agree.
like the logic in this. I'm just like, but yeah, that's how the segment ends. It was fine. I mean, there's no way Drew wins this match next week.
Not at all.
And then we get this match was short, but it was exactly what it needed to be. We got Julia versus Chelsea Green.
Mm-hmm.
This match was short. I think it was probably 6 minutes. Chelsea Green hits a Rough Rider. Kiana James jumps onto the thing. She distracts the referee. Chelsea Green turns around. I don't remember what happened to Alba Fire. Why she didn't break the pinfall. Just whatever. Chelsea, Julia hits the Brainbuster. Julia gets the win. Julia is your 2-time Women's United States champion.
And they're going to do nothing with her.
I've been saying for months Jordan Grace needed to be on main roster.
Yes. But that ain't going to happen because clearly you want Jordan Grace against Jade Cargill.
I mean, that could be a one-off. I mean, we're still waiting on Bianca Belair to come back at some point. Like, there's people to have Julia feud against. Awesome. Julia, underrated beauty. I'm sorry. Julia, you're gorgeous. Don't let any... she is beautiful, bro. I love the gear. I loved everything about Julia. Underrated.
Yeah, because Julia also don't book her right.
I know.
This is like when this is Zelina all over again. She has the title now. Now what? Because she lost the title, and then it was now what? And then she got the title the first time, and it was now what? It's nothing since she joined main roster. It's nothing but now what's.
Yeah. So now we have that title off of Chelsea Green. Can we put Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona together on screen, bro? This will be hilarious. They're real. Yeah, but he's still in NXT. Like, that don't count.
It does taking count. You say it's canon.
All right, so break Ethan Page up and make it one big Canadian group, even though Matt Cardona's not Canadian. Like, just take it one big group. I was just saying, like, it'll be hilarious. You put Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona together on screen. All right. Then we get our main event. And I know this was a fun match. This was fun. We got 2 dueling backstage segments. One where Damian Priest was being interviewed. He's saying, for 6 months, I've been fighting this guy. And as he's saying this, I'm just thinking about what you said last week. This feud started because R-Truth got into a fight with Aleister Black.
Nothing to do with my guy, and yet he inserted himself, and it's been that way ever since.
So he says 6 months I've been feuding with this guy. 6 months I've been at this, and I'm finally happy that it's gonna be over tonight when I put him in the ambulance and he goes away and he drives away. Then the other segment, because I think there were 2 Aleister Black videos. The first one, because I was waiting for him to say what I heard, what you had said, but the first one he didn't say that. First one he said, we're gonna put a nail in his coffin. Mm-hmm. That's how I ended the first one. So I'm like, all right. So even Aleister is saying that this is over. The second one, right before the match, he literally said, "This is over when I say this is over," and I'm just like, what? How do you have 2 different videos on the same show? You're saying 2 different things.
Mm-hmm. This is never ending. If it didn't end last night, this thing is never ending.
This match, even though it was fun, for an ambulance match, I thought it was kind of short. Mm-hmm. I thought it needed to be
less
longer.
Than 20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. I thought this needed to be longer. They hit their spots. They hit the choke slam off the top of the thing. They hit the razor's edge onto the onto the windshield of the ambulance. They hit the fireball spot, that the callback from when he did the fireball on Damian Priest. Uh, uh, the match kind of just ends. I felt like the match was rushed. They probably had to get off the air, because when Alistair eventually gets uh, the upper hand on Damian, he yells at Zelina to open the door, and you have Rhea Ripley manifesting Undertaker style into the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
She chases Zelina, and she hits Zelina with a riptide, and that's the last you see of the two of them.
Yeah.
And then you get to the back, the men feud. He hits the South of Heaven chokeslam off the top of the ambulance through a table that was just placed there, and he puts Alistair Black into the ambulance. He closes all three doors because I still don't know how that side door opened. Um, so he closes all three doors, and Damian Priest gets the win to hopefully end this feud and move Alistair Black to the main event scene.
My only problem with this, what did this do for Alistair? The entire
Nothing.
point of this feud was to put him over, allegedly.
Nothing.
It's just a don't quit attitude is what we gained from this.
This was a lot of nothing. A lot of 6 months of just these guys feuding and fighting and backstaging and martial arts kicking each other.
I want it to be over strictly to see now what do you do with them. I would love to see Alistair versus Cody. I don't know what you do with Damian. And he better not insert himself into the main event scene and be all over Alistair all over again.
He's not going to be in the United States Championship feud.
No.
You can move him to Raw.
I said that last time when you yelled at me.
I know. I'm just thinking, like, what do you do with him? Like, but then you have the same issue on Raw. Eventually, Seth's going to come back. You got the Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Braun Breaker triangle of crap that's going on over there. You have Austin Theory in the main event scene. You're not going to have him in the Intercontinental Championship scene against Dominic Mysterio. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Damian Priest at this point.
The only thing that I can see if he goes into the main events and he's going to be another Randy Orton where he's like, I like you, but I'm coming for that title.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And he's not young. Like, he said this all the time. It's like he's also another one of these 40-year-old superstars where he's not going to be part of the youth movement that they move forward with. But he needs to be featured on television and need to get wins. And I've said I need a slight gimmick change. Like, I like that's a quasi Judgment Day. Damian Priest is not helping him anymore.
I agree.
All right, but that was our first 3-hour SmackDown of the new year. It's a very solid show. This was a B plus.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
B to B plus. I'll give it B plus.
There was no
entertaining.
Real lulls. It was solid throughout the
just the women's the women's 8-man match.
It was fine for me. I wouldn't count it as a lull. It was, for me, it was a fine way to start the night.
It was whatever. It was what it was. We mentioned it, but yeah, the Kabuki Warriors and Lash Legend Nia Jax talked about if the Kabukis win, they Lash and Nia want to be the number 1 contenders for the championships. Yeah, that's it. Do we have a? I think we went over this last time, but I'm pretty sure we have a Monday Night Raw preview for 1/5/25. I don't know if they announced anything new. Nope, 26. We're in 2026. Why is it giving me May 5th? Oh, because I might have my VPN on it. It may be reading it backwards. All right, so we get ta-dum, Netflix. Braun Breaker versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. We got Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We got Becky Lynch versus Maxi Dupree for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Those are the only three things announced. So we're gonna get at least one change, maybe two this week. I don't think Becky beats Maxi.
And hopefully I don't feel like death by the next show.
What's that can do us? You can probably get us out of here. Let me look up Matt Cardona images from SmackDown.
Wait, that's gonna be the thumbnail?
I mean, you want Damian Priest doing this?
Yeah.
You want? Oh, we can do Drew holding the fire picture. No, we can do that. Let's do that. I'll be the thumbnail.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just gonna say that's probably the only time Matt Cardona would ever get a thumbnail from us, but you're not wrong. Should be Drew, I guess. But realistically, it should be Priest. Finally getting the dub.
Because his fine, we'll do Priest with it. Is it finally over underneath?
Yeah, facts. There you go. Because that's the biggest question we have at this point. Not about anything involving the world championship. It has to do with, is this feud over?
It's a great picture of him just sitting there looking exasperated outside of the ambulance. I'm gonna do that. Is this finally over?
Do it. These are the backstage processes we go through to find our thumbnails, everybody. But yeah, so that'll do it for us. You were right. We did make it less than an hour.
Okay.
We're at 52.
That's fine.
So not bad. But yeah, as always, you guys can catch us on Spotify, TikTok, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. We appreciate you guys as always, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.